Good morning, all. I'm about to present my Nearpod and Boom cards, the two technologies that just might save your life. Never used this platform before, so it's going to be an experience, to say the least. So let me share my screen and let's see if we can get this going. All right, I think you can hear me now. Now, let's start at the beginning of my presentation. Nearpod and Boom cards. They're both technologies that I have used as a student and as an educator. And both are very helpful in teaching for the teacher and learning for the student. Both are customizable. They deal with differentiation, with assessments, immediate feedback. They're both engaging and fun to use in the classroom. And let's take a look at Nearpods to begin. Nearpods. It's an interactive presentation platform that allows educators to create and deliver engaging lessons. I just used Nearpod this past semester in a reading class that I am taking. I'm currently enrolled in, and it's great. The teacher can deliver the instruction. She can deliver the information. It's all through the computer. There's no PowerPoint to look at necessarily. And it allows for quizzes, polls to give immediate feedback so that the teacher can gauge for understanding and see if she needs to tweak her instruction. It's great for fostering active participation, and it accommodates diverse learning styles and preferences. I like it because it does keep you on your toes. It forces you to be engaged, and that can be hard sometimes at 7 o'clock in the evening. And it's hard for students too, or students at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, sometimes at 8 o'clock in the morning. It's hard to be engaged, and anything that facilitates engagement, I think we should all be for that. Let's continue. My next slide talks about the benefits of using Nearpod in special education, but honestly, in general ed too. It promotes engagement, as I mentioned before. It's interactive through polls and quizzes, and that just captures the student's attention. You can make it look very engaging, very eye-catching too, depending on the details that you want to use. Differentiation. This is important, as we've talked about. We need to be able to customize the learning experiences that we're giving each student, and Nearpod can help you do that. Accessibility. Nearpod accommodates all learning challenges and learning styles, auditory, visual, kinesthetic, you name it. It really speaks to all. Assessment. And teachers love this because they can assess their students and get real-time feedback, and they can know how do they need to adjust their instruction. Do they need to go a little bit, push a little bit more, or pull back? It's really great for that. And collaboration. It also encourages collaboration, not only between the teachers and the students, but also amongst the classmates and their peers. And that's really important to teach the value of teamwork and also to foster those social skills, which are life skills. All right, let's go to the next slide and see how Nearpod works. So I've embedded a YouTube video in this slide to show you a little bit about how Nearpod works. Now we're going to give this a try. I've never done it before, so let's see if it'll work. Maybe not. Hold on one moment.
Differentiation gives each of your students multiple avenues to learning. And Nearpod
Only thing here will be the sound issues, I'm thinking. So this talks about the different things that you can do.
One of the most popular ways to differentiate with Nearpod is to give students access to multiple presentations about the same topic.
Give you the gist of it.
You'll notice on this Google Doc that I've shared links to two student-paced Nearpod
That's the
lessons.
lesson for group 1.
They're
and
both on the
geometry
same
group 2.
topic,
And
they're based on student ability levels.
Really
so I've labeled them
It is
Group
the
1
crux
and Group
of
2.
what we do, I think.
The Group
is
1 lesson
differentiating. And to be able to do that in a
is
lesson
a
and to do
geometry
that with this
lesson
fun
that's more for my
technology,
beginning
you
students.
can definitely tailor it to
The
that
Group 2
person's,
lesson
that student's
is an
experience
advanced geometry lesson.
quite easily and without any kind of it's not a punishment to the
It's
students
also
if we are a
possible
little
to
bit
share
behind
different
or
Nearpod
challenged
lessons
with it.
based on student interests.
But it just kind of keeps everybody on par.
Another easy way to
So check
differentiate
this
with
video
Nearpod
out if you get
is
a
by using
chance.
our web
Nearpod
share
did make
feature
it,
to
and
lead
it's a little
students on a
example of how
research
it
project
works.
or
I'm going to go ahead
exploration
and stop
within a
the
lesson.
video here since we can't
My
exactly
students are
hear
learning.
it within my slide, and we're going to move on to the next slide. So the practical applications of Nearpod. You can do many different things. I mentioned the polls and the quizzes, delivering feedback, immediate feedback in the classroom, but also you can take virtual field trips. You can take students to see the pyramids in Egypt. You can take them to the aquarium. You can take them to see all kinds of things, the ancient ruins in Rome. They do make a VR headset, virtual reality headset, which I imagine is quite expensive, but you don't even need that for these virtual field trips, which is great. So it is accessible. They also offer interactive lessons using multimedia elements, which, hey, that's what the kids love in this 21st century, right? It helps to make those abstract concepts that much more concrete. To sometimes be able to think about something is one thing, but when you can actually see it, it just changes your whole perception of it, right? It allows for self-paced learning and allows students to progress at their own pace, which is what it's all about. And it can provide scaffolding when needed. Formative assessments, we already mentioned that you get immediate, teacher gets immediate feedback. So he or she can adjust her instruction, his instruction as necessary. Well, let's move on to the next slide. All right, then we've got, we don't want to jump ahead. So here we go. I'm a little bit behind and there we go. Now we're going to talk about my next technology that I chose to use for this presentation, which is the boom cards. Boom cards is a great technology. They're all digital. They're like flashcards, but they're on the computer. And they can do so much more than flashcards, right? And flashcards are, usually for math facts or for just words or whatever. Well, you can do that with boom cards, but you can do so much more. Color, shapes, social skills, any kind of lesson that you want to plan, you can do with boom cards. And you don't have to pay. There are many, many resources online that are free, many boom cards that are free, but you can also pay if you'd like. And sometimes they're not even that expensive. So each card will present a question or a task to the student. They get immediate feedback, whether it's correct or incorrect. It can be independent, so the teacher can have her centers. That can be one of the centers where the student goes. They have their own customizable little lesson plan built within the boom cards platform. They're able to click on those lessons and go, 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 and they will move up as they master the levels. So it's really a fantastic way to work with the students. And it's great that they can work independently on it. And what kid does not like the tablet? I mean, come on. So let me see if I can play this video for you a little bit. I'm not sure the audio is going to work well, but let's try it out.
Special education programs are notoriously known for being understaffed, but special education students learn and grow in an environment that provides a lot of opportunities for small group instruction. But we can't be with our students every minute of the day. So what do? Well, that's where independent centers come in. I'm Michelle with the Autism Helper. I'm a TK through first grade self-contained teacher, and this is my classroom. I'm going to show you one of my independent centers that is super easy to prep and research. Special education programs are notoriously known for being understaffed, but special education students learn and grow best in an environment that provides.
Okay.
Special education programs are notoriously. I can scaffold my instruction back
So
a
we're
little bit,
skipping ahead a
step
little bit
away, and
here. Let
start.
me pause real quick. We're going to skip ahead a little bit. I'm sorry about that little glitch. So I'm going to show you exactly what she's going to do on the boom cards themselves so you can kind of get an idea rather than her just speaking. Okay, so here she's going to talk again about what she's doing.
occupied during this center. One of my favorite boom cards to use are the Autism Helper Easy Matching Weekly Workbooks, the digital version. So let me show you what those look like. The Easy Matching Weekly Workbooks are a lot of simple matching, errorless matching, matching by color. These are very easy for the students to do independently. I do have to explicitly teach these at the beginning of the school year, but about 2 weeks into the school year, I can scaffold my instruction back a little bit, step away, and start giving the students more independence. So this one, students are matching or sorting by color. And they're going to put all of the tools in the color, the corresponding color. Next, they're going to build a little playground. They match the crayons. They need to make sure that they get them in the correct position for this one. And if they do put them in the wrong spot, I'll show you what happens. It'll self-correct for them, so then they have to try again.
So that really shows a great example of how it offers the immediate feedback, and in a very like non-punitive way, non-embarrassing way. You just like, oh, okay, I guess I did that wrong. And you fix it and you move on. So it makes it really fun for the kiddos, and it's versatile, it's accessible. And I use this with my preschoolers when I was working virtually through the pandemic. And if you can imagine having to engage a child with severe autism, virtually, you can imagine the challenges with that. And the boom cards really got me through some tough times. And I really appreciated all that they could do. And they were very engaging and helped my kids to learn. So really enjoyable for educator and for student. So let's move on. Let's see what the next slide is about. All right, so some benefits. We kind of already talked about that, right? Highly engaging, very interactive, very motivating. They get that immediate feedback. Sometimes there's like a funny sound if they get it wrong, and that really kind of makes them laugh. So even there, it's like not punitive, it's not embarrassing, it's kind of funny. In fact, they might get it wrong on purpose just because they like to hear that little wah wah kind of sound. That's really cute. Differentiation, teachers can totally customize this and make it for each and every level of student that they have. And data tracking, it helps that student, or I'm sorry, the teacher, to keep the data more easily while she's doing other things. The student is learning, but she can go back later and see, okay, where is he at, or where is she at in this, and how are they doing, what needs to change, if anything. All right, so my next one is, dun, 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 let's go back, I'm sorry, guys. Let's talk about then the practical applications of boom cards. You can practice any skills that you're working on: colors, vocabulary, social emotional learning. All of these things can be used using the boom cards. And it allows for highly individualized instruction, as I've mentioned several times before. Okay, so talk about integrating these two technologies together. You got a good one here, Nearpod. You got a great one here with boom cards. Hey, why don't we put it together to create some kind of dynamic interactive lessons, right? So you introduce the concepts through the Nearpod, as the autism helper mentioned in my earlier video, how she's got to teach the concepts first. Hey, use that Nearpod, right? That makes it exciting. That makes it interactive. Let's go with that first. And then you bring out the boom cards to actually practice those skills and see where the students are at, see if you need to change your instruction or add to it in any way. It's constantly incorporating the students' feedback to refine and improve instructional materials. And that's what we are doing here. That's what we're supposed to be doing. And a conclusion: Nearpod and boom cards separately offer powerful tools for changing that classroom experience for the better. You put them together and there's no limit to what you can do and what you can teach. By using these technologies, you can create these engaging learning experiences and meet the needs of all your students. So thanks for listening today and for putting up with my little glitches. I'm Jessica Jones, and feel free to try out the Nearpod and the boom cards in the future if you'd like. Take care.